I'm Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal, and I'm honored to represent Washington's incredible 7th District in the House of Representatives, where I also serve as the proud chair of the Congressional Progressive Caucus and an executive board member of the Congressional Asian Pacific American Caucus. I want to thank the American Pakistani Pubic Affairs Committee for inviting me to record a video for tonight's annual APPAC Gala. I am so excited to see the Pakistani American community organizing for progressives and lifting up so many of the important issues that we're fighting for. As many of you know, before I became the first South Asian American woman ever elected to the House of Representatives, before I served as the only woman of color in the state Senate, and before I started the largest immigrant rights group in Washington state, I was an organizer. And that's the exact mentality that I bring to the halls of Congress. As an organizer, I always like to say that if politics is the art of the possible, then we should do everything we can to move the boundaries of what is seen as possible, to be bold, unite, deliver, and make a real difference in the lives of people all across America. That is how we create a country that invests in the most vulnerable, that creates opportunity for all, and that recognizes that your future is intertwined with mine, that we're all better off when we're all better off. I came to the United States by myself because my parents believed in the promise of America, so much so that they sent their 16-year-old across the ocean knowing that we may never live on the same continent again. And in fact, we haven't. My parents believed in America's ideals, in our democracy, that this was a place where change and progress were possible. And that's exactly why I'm so proud to be able to serve as a voice in Congress, not just for my district, but for so many communities across the country. It's also the reason that I'm able to bring a unique perspective to my work and bring our voices to the table. I am speaking to you just weeks after our infrastructure package was signed into law by President Biden. I was proud to support this legislation that provides a deeply necessary investment in our roads, bridges, waterways, and public transit systems. It will directly impact our communities while creating millions of good-paying union jobs. By investing more than $500 billion in improving our infrastructure, we will finally be able to send our communities the resources necessary to not only build back better, but greener. I'm also excited to share that our Build Back Better Act passed the House of Representatives. This historic legislation delivers on the promises that Democrats made to invest in working people across America, allowing them to wake up feeling better about their daily lives and the opportunities that their families have. This is critical funding for so many of our progressive priorities that will directly improve the lives of working people, fully paid for by making the largest corporations and wealthiest Americans begin to pay their fair share in taxes. We have made progress on so many of the transformative changes we need in our country, but there's still so much work to be done to support marginalized groups, especially as we continue to see a rise in racism, xenophobia, discrimination, scapegoating, and religious bigotry. As we work to undo the harmful policies enacted by the Trump administration that unfairly profiled and targeted Arab, Muslim, Middle Eastern, South Asian, and Sikh communities, we must also celebrate that these very communities have met those challenges with unwavering courage, with strength and compassion and resilience, while uniting to advocate for civil and human rights, work which continues to this day to benefit all Americans. It is my belief that the United States must lead by example in advocating for human rights, a cause that I have championed in my own life and work. As a member of Congress and as an Indian American, I will continue to speak out on fundamental principles of democracy, such as freedom of the press, religious freedom, and due process. Protecting these rights, particularly in the most difficult of circumstances, is actually the only way that democracies can strive and survive. Thank you again to everyone here this evening and to APPAC for leading in this work. It was an honor to be included in your annual celebration. I appreciate your support and hope to continue to build a relationship with you and the greater Pakistani community.